Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video, is missed by anybody. Hello students, and welcome back to the class. We are discussing a very important and very tricky topic right now. It doesn't look as if it's very tricky on the outside when I speak about hepatitis in pregnancy, because all of you feel that it's just hepatitis, it's jaundice in pregnancy. What's so tricky about it? The tricky part comes here. We're discussing about the different serological interpretations of tests given in hepatitis, how to write those tests. I've seen so many students failing in this thing. They don't even know that this is actually small c, not capital C. Because if you write HBC antigen, it becomes this test and not this test. So anyways, let me take you step by step through this. I will not confuse you. I'll in fact give you a concept, and then we'll follow it up with a quiz, maybe on the app or also on my Facebook page. But let's begin with understanding these fundas about hepatitis B virus serological tests. Let's begin. First of all, hepatitis B virus happens to be a double-stranded DNA virus. Unlike the virus of hepatitis A, C, D, and E, they're all RNA viruses, and this happens to be a DNA virus. It is different in its approach, different in its morbidity and mortality, and definitely different in serology. It has three different antigens. Okay, it has the HBE antigen, the core antigen, and the surface antigen. So HBS antigens, every antigen has an antigenic response. It leads to the production of the antibodies, and so the antibodies are going to follow next. First of all, you understand what is the the three antigens. So the three antigens, they happen to be HBE antigen, which has its own antibody. Can you see? Because there is a lot of glare over here. Just hold on. Yes, it's clearer now. So these are the three different antigens: HBE antigen, HBS antigen, and HBC antigen. That is the core antigens. All these are antigens of the same hepatitis B virus. Do not confuse this, because I have seen many people confused with this. When you talk about HBC antigen, so what is HBC antigen? It means hepatitis C virus? No, it is the core antigen of hepatitis B virus. Okay, that is one fund I wanted to tell you. The next thing is about every antigen has an antigenic response, IgG and IgM antibodies. Now, what do these tell you? First of all, let me finish the first thing, easy thing. If you order HBE antigen, once you know that your patient is HBS positive, HBS antigen positive, HBS antigen positive is the first antigen to come in the serum. Maybe after 3 to 4 weeks of infection, you can easily pick up the antigen, the HBS antigen. Okay, the virus is inside the body. To pick it up, it takes time for it to come in the serology, and finally you can get, once you've picked up HBS antigen, the next step that you need to know is how infective it is, because you're scared of two things: how infective is the patient to me, and how infective is this patient to the baby. Because the more number of the higher quantity of HBE antigen tells you the infectivity rate. So HBE antigen tells you the antigen. I'm not talking about antibody. Okay, forget about the antibody of HBE antigen. Just talk about the antigen per se. HBE antigen tells you how infective this virus is in this current pregnancy. Okay, then we talk about the core antigen. The first to appear as the immune response from the body is actually the antibodies of HBC antigen, not HBS antigen. So this thing, it tells you the body's immune response. Immune response. That means that if suppose a patient the patient is currently affected, the first to appear will be anti-HBC IgM antibodies, and once IgG antibodies of anti-HBC are produced, I'm talking about HBC antigen and its antigenic response. Anti-HBC antigen antibodies IgM are the first to come in a patient who is currently infected with HBS antigen or with the hepatitis B virus. Let's stop it there. Hepatitis B virus, if a patient is infected with hepatitis B virus, the first to come will be anti-HBC antigen antibodies. IgM comes first and IgG comes later, but IgG lasts for life. That means if suppose you have any patient whose serological profile is given to you that anti-HBC antibody IgG is present, that means sometime in life this patient had been infected. Very important one conceptual thing about anti-HBC antibodies IgG or IgM, they are not affected by your vaccination status. So if I, who have prophylactically taken hepatitis B vaccine, if I go and get my serology checked for anti-HBC antigen, if I've never been infected in my life with hepatitis, that thing will not come positive. That titer will not come positive. It will come negative only because I was never infected. I have been vaccinated. I was never infected. That means infectivity status goes with hepatitis C antigen. So, what is anti-HBs antigen? So, anti-HBs antigen antibodies, IgM, is usually formed after the resolution of infection in a patient. Suppose I have been vaccinated and I also got infected with hepatitis B virus, and now the virus is, the infection is gone. It gives me IgM antibodies now after resolution of the symptoms, after resolution of the infection also. Now I'll produce IgM antibodies and maybe even IgG antibodies. But that means that anti-HBs IgG antibodies are non-specific, because anti-HBs antigen antibodies IgG are those antibodies which are produced after vaccination also. So if a person is vaccinated, this titer of IgG antibodies as anti-HBs will come positive. So for me, if I was never infected in my life with hepatitis B, but I took vaccination, this antibody IgG of anti-HBs antigen will come out to be positive. And similar thing will not happen with anti-HBC antigen antibodies, because in that case they will come negative, because I was never infected. I was only vaccinated. So these concepts have to be absolutely clear in your mind before you embark upon treating a patient with this virus. Just refer to gastroenterologist is not actually the right way to go. You should know a little more about your patient. In fact, if you order these tests yourself, that means the gastroenterologist will also marvel at your knowledge, and you should yourself also, this is a basic concept you should know about. You should be able to understand those reports which come out of serology test. And as far as the treatment is concerned, of hepatitis B virus, well, like I said, if the HBV DNA, where does that fit in now? So the HBV DNA is the marker of the infection in the body. And why is the infection important to you? Because of the transmission to you and the transmission to the newborn. So as far as management is concerned, yes, in all viral diseases, the same management goes, that is, conservative management. But if HBV DNA load is high, that means more than 6 to 8 log copies, that means in that case, you will go for TDF. Okay, that TDF is the most important, medical management. There's a drug which is directed specifically against the DNA polymerase of the hepatitis B virus. And so you should be able to handle that.